You're listening to CX Passport, the show about creating great customer experiences with a dash of travel talk. Each episode, we'll talk with our guests about great CX, travel, and just like the best journeys, explore new directions we never anticipated. I'm your host, Rick Denton. I believe the best meals are served outside and require a passport. Let's get going. Yay! It's always an exciting moment for me when I get to talk to someone from a country I've not yet had on CX Passport. Longtime listeners know that I want to get voices from countries that aren't as represented in the customer experience world. That's why today I'm so excited to talk with Evas Bazirakakye, Customer Relationship Manager of Umeme, coming to us today from Kampala, Uganda. Passion for customer experience spans the globe. It manifests in different flavors and styles. What's great in Sao Paulo may annoy in Southampton, may challenge in Seoul, and may delight in San Francisco, or any mixture of reactions across the globe. What's also fascinating is how similar things can be whether you're in Kyoto or Kampala. It's intriguing and inspiring to see how the customer matters no matter where you are in this great globe. And that's true of Evas. With her career journey into customer experience, Evas found why it matters and how great CX creates great business results. Yes, real business results. Along with her own passion for the customer, something else caught my eye in Evas' profile, a focus on simplicity. We often spend a lot of time searching for the grand and spectacular, when simple will be what wins. I want to learn more about why simplicity centers Evas' approach. And yeah, when I get a chance to talk with someone from a new country for me, I absolutely want to learn more about what it's like to be there. We'll get into Uganda talk today for sure. Evas, welcome to CX Passport.
Thank you, Rick. I'm so thrilled, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm so excited. How are you?
Well, I am doing well because I get a chance to talk to you today. So I am just as excited and maybe even more so as I get to talk with a new voice from a new place for me. And that's always great. So let's actually do that. Let's just start off with a really wide view for a second. Since you are my first guest from Uganda, I'd like to ask this question. Tell me about the overall focus on customer experience in Uganda. How far along are companies there in using CX as a differentiating factor?
Thanks, Rick. Uganda customer experience has really evolved. Probably now we can talk about the pre-COVID and the post-COVID, because those are two scenarios that have really changed the customer experience in Uganda.
Very true.
If I can talk about the pre-COVID, it was more of customer service, and probably you can just break it down here, whereby you'd go to a shop or you want a service, and the service is offered, and that's it. Probably the service provider would not follow up, get to understand how you feel about the product. Has it served the purpose? A few of big brands were really, looking into the whole experience, the whole journey. But we've seen that after the pandemic, most businesses have come to realize that it's not about offering a product to a customer. There is more to it. And then also because of competition and then customer awareness. Customers know where to go. They know where to get what they want. And then we've seen most of Ugandans have now traveled. They have had all these experiences. So now their perception towards service, towards experience has really, really evolved. So yes, I can say the pandemic also led to people getting to understand that you can have value for your money when you buy a product, and you can have this product anywhere, at your convenience, and you can access it anywhere. So there's been a very big change. And I know most businesses have really gone into the digital world because of the pandemic, and this has created very good experience to customers.
Well, I certainly like to hear that, right? As someone that wants to see customer experience grow around the globe, it's good to hear that this evolution is taking place. It's a shame that it was triggered by that, but so many companies' advancements have been triggered by that, that I suppose that's one positive that we'll be able to look back on that period of history. And God willing, it is just a period of history that we will look back on it as.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, so we've got that wider view of Uganda and customer experience. Let's talk about you. What about you and your role? How did you get into customer experience?
How did I get into the customer experience? I would say that as I was growing, even at university, even after university, I used to, even now, I'm a kind of person who always believes that every time you meet a person, there's an interaction. Someone should at least have that memory. They should get an experience from that interaction. And so when I joined the employment world, I joined one of the big banks in Uganda. And my work was really about, sales. And I realized that every time I would have an interaction with a customer, I would really try to help them, try to give them a solution. Sometimes I would go on and find myself advising these customers, Yeah. And most times I would keep my promise. That's what I always say. When I tell the customer this, I would always ensure that I follow through, offer them other products probably they're not aware of. And this was so magical. You're in the sales world and you're not going out to look for sales, but you're just getting referrals and referrals.
Yeah.
To me, that was a win. And I realized that if the business really focused on that, ensuring that all the staff customer focused, they're trying to provide a solution to a customer, they're trying to find out what does the customer want, how can we better the customer, probably it would make more sense for the business and bring in more, business for the company.
This is your captain speaking. I want to thank you for listening to CX Passport today. We've now reached our cruising altitude, so I'll turn that seatbelt sign off. While you're getting comfortable, hit that follow or subscribe button on your favorite podcast app so you'll never miss an episode. Love it if you'd tell a friend about CX Passport, leave a review so others can discover the show as well. Now, sit back and enjoy the rest of the episode.
I love that thought. And it's so much about what we talk about in the customer experience world. And that is, if you do better by your customers in the experience world, you will see business results. And you have a direct example of that when you were delighting your customers, not only did they add more products, they were, yes, telling their friends and family, and you were receiving referrals because of that great experience. I think it's brilliant. And it's a direct example of how the business results are driven by customer experience.
Yeah. Customer experience. And that's true. And also the fulfillment that I used to get every day when I interact with a customer and they are happy, for me, that was a win. And that is the point when I discovered that I can really make it big in this whole customer experience world and can help businesses big and small. So that's where it all started.
I love it. And I know this is an audio podcast. Listeners, you would see me grinning from ear to ear because then Evas just brought in the idea of employee experience into this, that it was fulfilling being able to deliver that aspect of customer experience. And so, Evas, now that you're in that world, now that you're in the world of customer experience, you're now working at Umeme, which I know a lot of my listeners may not know what that company is, but it covers 99% of the distribution of power in Uganda. So this is not just market domination, it's almost market completion. So if customers don't have options, why should a company care about customer experience?
Rick, I may say that it's not true that customers will not have options. The options are always there in the business world. Everywhere in the world, options are there. And for Umeme, it covers 97% of the power distribution. But that doesn't mean that Umeme has to fold its hands and ignore its customers, because customers at Umeme are very critical to the business, to its bottom line, to its performance. For example, if you don't care about customers, we look at now customers ending up going into power theft, stealing power because no one cares. And that hits directly to the bottom line of the business, okay? And then also customers have options. We've seen solar, we've seen other private power production plants coming up. So we didn't want competition to eat up all that we already have. So we have really ensured that the customer is key at Umeme in everything we do, because what customers can do in the event that we do not care for them has a really, really big impact. We've heard of vandalism. These are the same people who go out and destroy the network, you know?
Oh my.
So the impact is huge, yeah? There's no way we can say that we can't care for our customers. It's very critical. We wake up every day at Umeme to ensure that we serve our customer. They are powered, you know, they are consuming reliable and quality supply. So it's very critical.
I shouldn't laugh, right? You're describing, I think I laugh because it was just so shocking. You know, we think about business results. I don't think I'd ever really thought about, you know, how customer rage could manifest into something so strong, but it's real, right? We don't have to hide away from the reality of stories, even if they're a bit darker. The idea that customer experience could be so poor and someone so reliant on power distribution that when it's not there, it creates that kind of an impact. So that's a business result. It may not show up on a financial ledger, although repairing damage will certainly do so. It's real though, and it absolutely is something that, well, before this episode, I hadn't thought about, but it's so vital.
And then also, Rick, you see, with customer experience, you are ensuring that at least your customers can pay you when they are not, you know, grumbling, when they're not complaining, and they're paying you because they have consumed your product or service. So it cuts across. If your customers are to pay diligently, that means they are happy about the service, and they find value for money. But you avoid scenarios whereby you have to look out for your customers, pushing them to pay, reminding them to pay. It's too much work. So with a good experience, customer always have you on their mind that I need to pay the bills, I need to, you know. So it's the experience that you're offering.
Evas, that's a lot in there that is at least not part of the conversation that I'm seeing in a lot of kind of my quote traditional customer experience groups and that sort of thing, because we do talk a lot about business growth and we talk about that being what customer experience is about. You're talking about some of the fundamentals of just business, right? And it's still a business results, but if your customers aren't paying their bills, you aren't receiving revenue. And if they aren't paying their bills because they have a poor experience with you, it doesn't matter that they have a competitor or not, you still want them to pay. And that's insightful, Evas. Absolutely. I'm glad you shared that.
It's the experience. It cuts across, regardless of having the whole market share or not. Customers will always wake up to an experience. And if you can't offer them an experience, trust me, there's always an alternative. There's always an alternative. Yes.
Evas, I almost want to land the episode right there, but there's no way that I could end the episode without, and we've got plenty more to talk about. I got a lot of things I want to ask you about, but I want to talk about travel for a second, because I'm getting to talk to someone that I've mentioned it several times. I've never been to Uganda. My only Africa travel has actually been Egypt, and it was on a work trip, but we did have some time to do a little bit of exploring. So there was fun and enjoyment there, but I've not been to Uganda. I'm really excited to hear about this aspect of your experience. What has your experience been like traveling in Uganda?
Wow, Rick, first of all, like you're really missing out. You should have Uganda on your bucket list of countries to visit. Seriously, Uganda is very interesting in terms of travel. It's a country in East Africa, of course, in Africa. We have more than 56 tribes. You can imagine, more than 56 tribes, incredible people, loving people, good food, you know. Imagine the 56 tribes. These all have different kinds of foods, you know. So it's very interesting. Mount Rwenzori, I hope you've heard of Mount Rwenzori, one of the tallest mountains in Africa. It's in Uganda. I've been to Queen Elizabeth National Park, very huge national park, good for safaris, one of the best national parks you can have a safari in Africa. Murchison Falls, you know. The list is endless, Rick. Uganda is beautiful, you know. So I just invite you, come over.
I love having an invitation like that, Evas. I actually just had his episode hadn't released when you and I are recording, but by the time your episode comes out, it should have come out. And a guest talked about their experience in Uganda and said it's the most beautiful. Oh gosh, now I can't remember whether it's sunrise or sunset, but I believe it was sunrise that he had ever seen.
Sunrise, yes. I'm telling you, and the people are so warm. They are so loving. Rick, man, you should come to Uganda.
Evas, let's do a little change of pace
Yeah.
here. Join me here in the first class lounge. We love travel. If I were to go to Uganda, it's a long way. And if you were to travel other places, it can be a long way. So it's nice to have a little break. Join me here in the first class lounge. Let's move quickly and have a little bit of fun here. What is a dream travel location from your past?
From my past, I would allow me to give you two.
Okay.
The recent one was in Turkey. That is Cappadocia.
Nice.
It was so breathtaking, good, beautiful. The hot air balloons, the chimneys. The heritage is rich. It is
That's
a place
nice.
I can go over and over again. And then I also love beaches and Zanzibar. I know you've also heard about Zanzibar. Zanzibar is so beautiful, breathtaking. It's a place I can always go to anytime. So those are some of the two countries that I've gone to, and the memories are really great.
Oh, I like that. I like both the Turkey and the Zanzibar examples. I've not heard the latter come up in the show before. So now you've given me another place that I need to go travel to, and I can't wait to do it. Thinking about your future travels, what is a dream travel location you've not been to yet?
I haven't been to Bora Bora, and I would love to be there.
It sounds absolutely magical.
Yes, magical. Then I would also love to travel to Italy. So those are two countries that I would really love to go to.
I like how you've got two of your dream travel locations, both the past and the future. That's you've got my kind of spirit of wanting to go a lot of places. You mentioned the food of Uganda. What is a favorite thing of yours in general? Favorite thing of yours to eat?
Myself, it's granite paste and steamed matoke. Yeah, that's some local food we have. I love it.
Right. I'll have to look that up and get a little sense of it and see what your favorite food is. Now, on the other side, Evas, what is a thing your parents forced you to eat, but you hated as a kid?
Oh my gosh. I can say eggs. When I was growing up, I didn't like eggs at all.
Okay.
I would always be forced to eat the eggs. Yeah.
Oh, I love this question. I just love hearing the tension in people's voices. Going back to travel. What is one travel item, not including your phone, you will not leave home without?
Oh, wow. Only one? That would be, that would be my morning devotion book. I don't think I would leave it behind, my devotion book.
Evas, when you and I talked earlier, we talked about the culture of companies being a key factor in the delivery of experience. And you even alluded to that in talking about Umeme, how that culture matters in delivery of customer experience. How do you help get companies to go, let's just say, go beyond using these words about customer experience, but actually doing something about customer experience?
Okay, that's a good question, Rick. First of all, I believe customer experience, it's just a culture that you can create. It's a mindset among its people, employees, and then businesses. Usually I advise businesses to first understand their existence. Why do they exist? And that's a very big question to finding your reasons for really even investing in customer experience. The fact that you know why you exist, then it will, at the end of the day, it will direct you to a customer. There is no shortcut to that. So I usually ask businesses to first understand why they exist, and then also look at their employees. And it's always something that the C-suite executives should understand, that employees come first. If the employee experience is not good, then the customer experience is not going to be then good.
Yeah.
Because who offers this experience? Who offers the experience? It's the employee. So you have to grow that culture within the employees, invest in them, empower them. So there is a lot that has to be done even before we go out to the customers, and businesses should appreciate that and look at customer experience, not just being a cost center, but knowing that if we invest in customer experience, look at the employees who are delivering this service, the experience, then the impact is huge. Then also, businesses, it's something that I discussed with a friend, and I said, customer experience has gotten to a level whereby it's not just customer experience. Businesses should take it a notch higher, as in they should take it to be a social responsibility. The way Rick, you will say that, I'm operating in this business space, and this is what I have to do for my community. This is what I have to do for my customers. Every time they walk to me, this is their experience. So it becomes a responsibility. So those are some of the few things that if business is looked at, then the whole customer experience situation would be better and bigger without even forcing it out there. So those are some of the things. And, just someone will say that when you say customer experience, probably is the best business strategy or something, someone will be like, no, they always say that, it's a cliche or something. But we know that it's the fact. And then also we know that, it's a fact. And we know that customer experience influences decisions, people's purchasing power. It basically, and this affects the profitability of any company. So there is too much to say about customer experiences that businesses should always embrace. And those are some of the things that I always focus on: the culture, the employee first, the employee experience, and then you can push it out to the customers. But then also look at it as a responsibility. That any customer who walks to your business or who buys your product or service, they need that experience. They need to come back. We've had scenarios, you go to a hotel, if the experience is good, you will go back.
Absolutely.
If it's not good, you will not even talk about that hotel, but you only talk ill about it and even discourage other people from talking about it. And that is word of mouth that is powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll absolutely talk about it. Evas, there's so much that you said in there and certainly focus on the employee. And it reminds me of what I said in the introduction, and that is how we want to learn from the differences around the globe, and the differences are absolutely true around the globe. And certain things are just absolutely fundamental. When you say a phrase like, your employees are the ones delivering the customer experience, and their experience matters and influences that. Absolutely. Of course. You went beyond, though, and that idea of elevating beyond customer experience to a social responsibility, that's deep. I really like that depth of almost corporate social responsibility and how that is tied into customer experience. Evas, I had mentioned simplicity in the introduction. It did. It caught me in your LinkedIn profile, something that you had called out. And I know that companies spend an inordinate amount of time trying to find this amazing solution. And when they do that, they tend to layer idea upon idea and upon idea, and things start to get complex. Why do you think simplicity is a better way to create great customer experience?
Wow, that's a good one. Rick, do you know simplicity is attractive? Simplicity is always attractive, yeah. And yes, businesses are going out there getting solutions, which are very important. The solutions are good, they are perfect. But what kind of solution are you getting? If I was to go online, to buy a product or service or access a service, how easy is it for me to navigate your platform?
Yeah.
That is simplicity, Is it easy for me? Yes. If I find it hard, then I'll just switch and go to another service provider who's offering the same product or service, but probably they have a website, or they have their products can be accessed online. So even the solutions should be very easy, simple, and people can easily navigate through,
Right.
And simplicity is easily understood, easily understood by the employees. They will easily understand it. They will resonate with it, and they will easily adapt to it. So why make things hard, really? Because you're dealing with customers who are busy, who have many things to chase. So the fact that you're making life hard for them, then you're not even adding any experience to them. So simplicity is easily understood, easily adopted, and people usually remember. You can easily remember, like, for example, I won't want to mention the name of this bank in Uganda, but when you go to their app, their banking app, oh my goodness, it is so simple. You can do everything. I even don't remember the last time I walked into that banking hall. You get it? So that is simplicity. So for me, simplicity will always win the day if it comes to customer experience.
Man, that again, such depth and truth in there. I think you've got a second career or a side career available to you as a customer experience leader, a customer experience advisor. I think there's a lot of companies that should be talking to you about the delivery of great customer experience, because so much of what you say, it makes complete sense and I forgive me for saying this, but it's so simple. And yet so many companies do not do that. And I know I'm learning from you, and I'm glad the listeners get a chance to learn from you as well. Evas, I'm looking at the clock, and I know that we're kind of winding down with a little bit of time. So you and I are recording this in January of 2023. And I've been asking this of all my guests in this kind of January timeframe. I'm curious what you see for customer experience in Uganda going forward. What do you think the overall focus around customer experience will be for Uganda in 2023 and beyond?
That's a very good one. I'm saying most of the businesses, companies, big brands are all going online. And that means that they are really focusing on convenience, accessibility, because now we're realizing that people are working from all places.
Right.
Some people don't even want to drive in the city center. Some people just want to go on an app, order for something, and it's delivered at their doorstep. So I'm seeing most businesses going online, which is a very important thing for Uganda. And like I initially said, Rick, Ugandans are now exposed. They're now aware. They have traveled. Most of them have accessed Amazon. They've done, online shopping. So they would want this back home. And that's how we're seeing most companies going digital, So that is a very good thing. And then in terms of competition, we are seeing companies moving away from, it's about the massive products I have out there. What is my competitor doing? But to what is it that I'm putting out there? And why would the customer come to me? Why would they prefer my services or my product, So we're moving from just focusing on competition, but to the quality of products and services you're putting out there. What value are they adding to customers? And this is really, really very important for Ugandans, So it is a landscape whereby we're seeing customer experience really evolving. And then also management of big brands appreciating that if we invest in customer experience, then the cost of advertising, marketing, billboards, radio, TV, that cost will really go down, because we've seen what word of mouth can do. We've seen how people are putting out, are commenting on social media about products and brands. So for me, I see executives are now going to really, really appreciate customer experience, and never know we'll have even positions like chief customer experience, because I've not had that in Uganda. Probably in other countries it's there, but we'll see customer experience being on the board, sitting on the, in the board discussing critical and strategic decisions that can help businesses grow, expand, and it's really huge. It's massive. I'm very optimistic about it. And it's something that I cannot stop talking about.
Well, unfortunately, Evas, as much as I would want to continue a conversation with you, we have come to the end of time. I love the energy around that. And I think that's what gets me so excited about having conversations with folks about customer experience around the globe, is that excitement, that energy, that passion, and that optimism to what customer experience can do for a business. And I'm excited to hear about your views of what that's going to look like for Uganda in 2023. Evas, if folks wanted to get in touch with you to learn more, to have a conversation around CX, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can hook me up on LinkedIn, on email.
I will get Evas's LinkedIn information in the show notes. Scroll down, have a link, and have a great chat and get inspired about what customer experience is going to look like going forward. Evas, really enjoyed talking with you today. The insights that you shared, both are delightful in how similar they are, but then also inspiring in how forward-looking they are as well. It always It delights me to hear how things are different around the globe and how similar they are around the globe. We are just one set of humans, aren't we? Evas, had a wonderful conversation with you today. Thank you for being on CX Passport.
Thanks, Rick. My pleasure.
Thanks for joining us this week on CX Passport. Make sure to visit our website, cxpassport.com, where you can hit subscribe so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, you can check out the rest of the EX for CX website. If you're looking to get real about customer experience, EX for CX is available to help you increase revenue by starting to listen to your customers and create great experiences for every customer, every time. Thanks for listening to CX Passport, and be sure to tune in for our next episode. Until next time, I'm Rick Denton, and I believe the best meals are served outside and require a passport.